Have you ever wondered what exactly it might be like to be living in 5D? How is it different from living in 3D or 4D? Is it an experience of totally living in bliss on a constant basis? Do you just suddenly become light? Are you able to just fly around the cosmos, visiting other planets? And maybe you're wondering, is it possible to slip into this higher frequency at this point now, even before the planet has shifted into it? Perhaps you think you are maybe already experiencing 5D, at least some of the time, but you're not quite sure. Well, you may well be from time to time. Most of us destined to make the shift into 5D are on the timeline that is now passing through the higher levels of 4D. And it seems to be possible to slip in and out of 5D at this point, in which we experience a period of time in which reality certainly seems different, much more comfortable, and a lot more beautiful. And when this occurs, we are probably being given a glimpse of 5D reality, at least the lower levels of it. But there's likely no one experience that everyone would have in this higher frequency consciousness, because we are all unique. But it can maybe be described in general terms that you would be able to relate to. So let me offer some descriptions and see if they're familiar to you. But first of all, let me be clear about what 5D is. It's a consciousness. It's a state of being that creates a reality in which you live. When you shift into this consciousness, you not only feel different, your life somehow seems to shift into a new reality in which things operate differently from how they have when you've been living in 3D and 4D. In other words, your consciousness actually changes your reality and how things happen in your life. And it can sometimes feel magical. Small and even sometimes big miracles seem to naturally occur when you slip into 5D. And synchronicities just abound. They're happening all over the place. You see that you're being provided with everything you need, sometimes even before you know you need it. There's no feeling of lack or fear of not having what is necessary for your sense of safety and comfort. In general, you feel a sense of overall well-being. You feel balanced, peaceful, knowing all is well. And pure bliss can come in for a while, and it's phenomenal when you're experiencing it. But you realize you can't hold on to it, and you don't need to. As it fades, you're still left in this glorious state of well-being and peace. And you can become aware of a feeling of expansive freedom you're feeling. You somehow know that you can do what you really want and what you need to do, no matter what. There are no constrictions. You know you are being led and guided carefully by your higher self and your guides, and you just follow what is in front of you. You always kind of know which direction to go in, what choice to make, without your mind getting in the way. And you feel totally safe. And you can feel a sense of just being very alive in every part of your being. Your body kind of tingles with joy and anticipation of what may be coming toward you in your life. Even if it's a chore like washing the dishes or taking the garbage out, you somehow know you're going to enjoy it. It may even be fun, even adventurous somehow. You're just very alive in the moment. Oh, and the love you can feel. There are times when your heart is so full of love for someone, tears just come to your eyes, and your chest just feels so full to bursting. And then maybe there are times when this love isn't for just one person or certain people in your life, but for all of humanity. You realize you really are connected on the soul level with every living being on this planet. There's such a sense of coming home with this realization. And then, of course, with all this love for everyone, you also realize how much you love yourself, right? This love can bring on sobbing at times because of all the times in your life when you've judged yourself and felt shame and guilt and self-doubt. You wonder how you could have done that to yourself. And then this love can just keep extending out to Mother Earth, right? And how much you love her and how happy you are to be on this amazing planet. And this can then bring in the realization of how incredibly beautiful everything is, especially when you're out in nature. The colors of the trees and flowers and the hillsides become so poignant, it takes your breath away. You're stunned by simple little flowers you might have just passed by in the past, hardly noticing them. And you can't believe how gorgeous they are, how miraculous they are. And then, of course, all of this can just bring in such a profound sense of gratitude within you. Again, it can be almost overwhelming. You become aware of every little thing in your life that brings you joy and beauty, and every person you love and feel loved by. And you realize how fortunate you are in a million different ways. And you realize that this gratitude is a state of consciousness that permeates all your experiences and colors every interaction you have with people. The gratitude itself seems to create reality. Now, there may be at times when you're in 5D that you have the experience of being a field of light. And you realize that your body exists within you as this light. And as this light, you have an ethereal sense of simply being presence. You're there in this world as a field of intelligence and light and love and joy. And your body is inside of you. And you realize that your thoughts and the emotions you feel aren't really a part of you. They're like clouds that simply pass through you. They come and they go. And there's no need to hold on to them or make them a permanent part of your identity. You can also become aware that everything else in your life, your relationships, your physical actions, your work, your play, they all pass through you as well. And all your challenges and difficult circumstances are there too. There's no stuffing them down or trying to distract yourself from them. There's nothing wrong with them. You know they aren't you either. They're just present with you for a time. Because you are just this field of light in which all experiences, thoughts, and emotions dance for a while and then pass on through. And this even includes all the events happening in the external world as well. Your awareness of them comes in at times, and they swirl around some within you, and emotions and reactions to the awful events may arise for a while. But then, unless you hold on to them, they just pass on through you too, like the weather. And you're left with yourself as this glorious and beautiful field of light that shimmers with love and gratitude. And this may bring in the realization and the knowing that you are an eternal being. You've been around for maybe thousands, even millions of years, and lived in many different places in the universe. And this current life on Earth is truly just a minute experience in your existence as a light being. And you may even then realize that you can experience yourself even as not a particular individual being. You can also become aware that you are within all that exists in everything in creation. You are pure consciousness, pure awareness, pure presence, and you are in everything. So, is any of this familiar to you? Have you had any of these experiences? And maybe even others I haven't described here that help you know you're experiencing a much higher frequency consciousness that we could call 5D? If so, know that this is just the beginning. Even as the world out there rages in chaos and destruction and horrendous experiences for people in certain areas, you can deeply feel compassion for them and grief and anger for all that's happening. But this doesn't mean you can't experience all of this from within this greater, higher frequency of consciousness. There are powerful waves of light flooding the earth now that you can tune into and begin to ride. You just need to feel for the bandwidth of that frequency. It's there for us to tune into and flow with now. And the more you can do this, the more you are contributing to the shift in consciousness that is occurring across the world and that increasing numbers of people are making, right alongside all the horrors. Waking up is occurring more and more, and the new earth is already forming. So let this realization keep you moving along with hope and joy and gratitude, knowing that the earth is making her way toward the momentous leap in frequency now, faster and faster, and you can help speed this transition along by shifting into 5D consciousness whenever you can. Feel your power to do this.